Sanskrit is the oldest language on the planet, and it's a very conscious language. It's unlike any other language. So when you pronounce Sanskrit in the proper way, it affects the brain hemispheres. And usually most people's brain hemispheres are extremely lateralized. What that means is one side is very dominant and the other side isn't. So it's not balanced. And you know, balance is what creates transcendence. You can't really transcend unless you're balanced. So by using a mantra, what it does is it starts to bring, by stimulating the brain in the proper way, it's in Sanskrit, it starts to bring the brain hemispheres into balance and the brain waves into balance. And as those become more and more balanced, there's a whole brain synchrony, and what happens is transcendence. I think of it like this. It's like if you saw people dancing without music, it would just look so insane.
Yeah,
and that's what
exactly.
that's what yoga is to me. It's like
it is a dance. It came from, you know, people observing.
It comes from within. Very good.
From within.
So if you add music to it, which you know, then you get nice and high. I was a monk for many years, and in the Vedic tradition, so I had a shaved head and I was celibate and studied scriptures all day long and chanted mantras and did all that stuff for I think 4.5 years. And then at the end of that, I was touring with this particular guru, and at the end of that, I ran out of money, and he said, "Go take what you've learned out into the world." I said, "Okay." So I did that, and before and after that I was a rock and roll musician. Toured the world with all these
sex, drugs, rock and roll, right?
Big bands,
You've done the whole thing,
so
and you come out.
One foot in the bar and one in the ashram. So you really need to observe your own mind, because in observing it, you see how insane it is. Because if you don't know you're in prison, you can't get out. So you have to know that you're crazy, essentially. it's like having a roommate that constantly criticizes you, right? And is constantly making trouble all the time. I mean, if you had a roommate like that, you'd get out of there in 5 seconds, but your own mind is much worse. At some point, you usually do mantra until you get to that point where you get still or peaceful, and then you drop it. It's going in a million directions, and suddenly you bring it to one point, and then that one point disappears, and then you're just vast with no boundaries. So it's nice. Mantras are very good. No? Yes, very good.